All right, with the list of our categories in place, now we can implement filtering. So when we click on a category, we should only see the products in that category. So let's see how we can implement this. Back in our products template, in order to make our categories clickable, we need to change this markup from UL to div, and this li to an anchor. So anchor, like this. We should also add another class here, list, group, item, action. Now, when the user clicks on one of these hyperlinks, we want to take them to the same page, but add a query string parameter like category, like this. So here I'm going to add the router link directive, take the user to the same page, that is the home page, and bind the query params property to an object to pass a query parameter. So here I want to pass category, and I want to set this to the ID of this category. So C dot $key. Now let's test the application. So we can see these items appear clickable, and when we click on one of these, the URL changes to something like this. We've got the category in the URL. Similarly, if I select fruits, our category changes to fruits. Beautiful. Now we need to implement the other side. We need to get this parameter from our route and filter our products. So back in our products component, here in the constructor, I'm going to inject the activated route service so we can read the route parameters. So route of type activated route. And now let's put each of these parameters on a single line. So here we need to call route dot query param map. You remember this is an observable, so we need to subscribe to this to get the query parameters. Now in this particular implementation, we cannot use a snapshot like this, route dot snapshot dot query param map. We can't use this because in this implementation, this products component that we have here is in the DOM, but the route parameter is changing. So Angular is not going to destroy this component and reinitialize it again. It's going to keep this component in the DOM, and it's going to change the route parameters. That's why we have to subscribe to this observable, as I explained in the section about routing and navigation. So one more time, we can't use the snapshot. Now here, let's get the category. So let category, we call params.get, and here we pass the name of our parameter, which is category. Now what I want to do is promote this variable to a field in this class, this.category, because then we can go to our template and highlight the currently selected category. So here we can add class binding. We can render the active class if this category field we have in our component is equal to C dot $key. Okay, so back in our component, let's finish this bit. I'm going to define this category field here, which is a string. Now let's test the application. So we can see I'm on the fruits page and the fruits category is selected. If I go to bread, bread is selected. Beautiful. But filtering is not implemented yet. So let's go back to our products component. Here, when we get the category, we want to filter our products. Now here we're dealing with the same scenario we had in our product management page for admins. When we want to do client-side filtering, we can't use this observable here. We need to store all the products in an array in this component so we can filter them. So I'm going to rename this field and remove the $sign and set its type to product array. Now here in the constructor, I'm going to subscribe to this observable. So we call product service.getAll. We subscribe to it. and get all the products from Firebase and then set this.products. Now we should also define another array called filtered products, exactly like what we did in the admin section. So I'm going to define filtered products and annotate it with product array as well. Now here, when we read the category from our route parameter, we should apply our filter. So we should set this.filtered products to, if we have a category, we're going to call the filter method on our products array. So this.products.filter, we get a product object and return it if its category is exactly this.category. Otherwise, if we don't have a category, we want to return all products, right? So then we set this.products array to this.products. Let me add a line break. So these 3 lines is about setting the filtered products array. Now we need to go back to our template and use this field to render the list of products. So back in the template, this is where you're rendering our cards. So instead of iterating over products array, we're going to iterate over filtered products. Let's test the application up to this point. Initially, we don't have any products here. This is a bug we're going to fix in a second. But let's see what happens when we click on a category. So we only see bread. Now let's select another category like fruits. We only see the fruits here. Beautiful. Now let's see what happens when we refresh this page. So refresh. We have an error in the console. Cannot read property filter of undefined. So in our products component, this is where we're calling the filter method. At this point, products array is undefined. That's why we got that runtime error. To fix this, we need to initialize this products array to an empty array. Generally speaking, it's a good practice to always initialize your arrays. Just set them to an empty array. Now, back in the browser. So once again, initially, we don't see any products. Let's select the bread category and then refresh the page. All right, we don't have any errors anymore, but we don't see any products. So this is the bug. The first time we open this page, we don't get any products. Let's see why.